Alrighty, g'day guys, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have our draft recap slash draft analysis of APA Little Cup Season 2 run. First things first, I apologize, I am a little bit sick, so I might sound slightly like death and need to be going for water through this recording, but I'm going away today for the weekend, and this was the last chance I had to record it, so this is what's going to have to happen. But yeah, so we had, you would have seen the final go up for Season 1 yesterday. We did manage to win Season 1, picked up a nice championship there, hoping to go 2 from 2 in Wi-Fi Little Cup leagues. Now today not today. This draft we had 19th out of 20th overall pick, which I mean is alright, but I mean I would have liked an early pick to be able to try something like some of the ones I had my own, obviously Wallaby, Mienfu, Spritzy, Munchlax, Apom, and Yanma were probably the mons, and maybe Diglett, because I've never used Diglett before, but they were mainly the mons that I had my eye on trying. And they all managed to go before me. So it got down to my pick, and I was like, I really don't know what I want. And then, obviously, you can see the mon on your screen that I did grab, so I decided to grab Kavana. And this thing hits like a truck, but it is frail as hell. But it does get speed boost, so it hits 17 speed normally, and then it does get speed boost. It can hit very hard on both the physical and special side with moves like Hydro Pump, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, or something like Crunch, Waterfall, Psychic Fangs are some of the moves it gets. It can also be run mixed. Life Orb is a great item on it because once you get a couple speed boosts up, the only way they can beat you is with priority then, or with like a focus sash. And this mon does get Aqua Jet as well, so if you've got something like a fighting type that's wanting to come in and use Mark Punch, they still need to be able to live an Aqua Jet, which, I mean, with some chip and with hopefully how I've built the rest of the team, we will be able to chip them down to the point where Kavana can just win some weeks. So that was our first pick. Originally I was going to actually try Staryu in this spot, but the picks didn't fall to me as much as I would have liked. So we're starting off our Firewater Grass core as well as our Fighting Flying Dark core, which is the main Little Cup core for those of you who may be new to Little Cup content. So that was our pick 1. Getting into our pick 2, I decided to grab Snivy. And this mon is very nice. That's one of the things that, with a back wheel, you can get like 2 sort of solid tier 1s, not top tier, but you can get 2 really solid tier 1 mons. But yeah, so Snivy is a really nice mon. It also hits 17 speed. It's a pure grass type. It does bring Defog, Leech Seed, Glare, reliable recovery, all those into the team, but its main selling point is Contrary plus Leaf Storm. High base power moves in Little Cup are really strong. That can be seen by things like Wingulls, Hurricane, Ponyta's Flare Blitz, Mienfu's High Jump Kick. All those like really strong mons with high base power moves can really tear up the format. And so when you add a +2 to those, it's really good. It's also a great Z user with like moves like Z Ring Out, which Ring Out is a move you're never clicking on its own. I think it does more power the less PP the move has. I'm not too sure on that one. But when you give it a Normalium Z, it becomes a 190 base power Z move. So yeah, that's as long with some other coverage it does get. You can run like an Eviolite set, you can run a Scarf Snivy pretty comfortably most weeks. It's just a really good mon, and something I thought fit really well with Carvana. 2 mons that can just break through and win some weeks. Okay, moving on to our third pick. Our third pick was, boom, Magby. Firewater Grass Core, sorted. This mon's really fun. It hits 19 speed very fast. It gets Mark Punch. It gets Belly Drum. It gets Flame Charge, Fire Punch. Thunder Punch, Facade. It gets some great physical moves. It also has a decent enough special attack stat to the point where if you were running a Life Orb, you can run mixed pretty comfortably. or even like mixed with something, I don't know, something that really resists, has great physical defense. That means hidden powers on this thing aren't going to be too bad. For something like a Tortuga that really doesn't mind taking fighting fire stab, you can run like an HP grass for that thing, and it will kill like pretty much all the time. Yeah, so Magby, it really is another one of these mons that can just, it's a bit more of a setup mon, whereas the other two are sort of immediate breakers. This mon can just set up and win. Like, belly drum into berry juice, like, you can just win sometimes. And yeah, so taking a +6 mark punch, anything that, like, not too much wants to take that, again, if we chip things down, this mon can just clean. And having three of those mons already, even if one of them is used as a breaker early game, it means the other couple can really come through late game. But yeah, so that was Magby. Really not a whole lot to the pick. Like, it was probably one of the better tier 2s left on the board. It's really phenomenal mon. Something that my buddy Owen, who we played last season, used Magby really well, and he actually managed to clean the game with it versus us, which, yeah, so it's just something I've been wanting to try. I never tried Magby before, so I think it'll be really fun to give it a shot. Next pick, so again, this is kind of a pseudo wheel at this point. There's only one person in between us. So we decided to grab another solid tier 2, and we've completed our Fire Water Grass course, so now it's time to get started on our Fighting, Dark, and Flying core, and we picked up Pancham. Pancham's a pure fighting type as opposed to Pangoro, who is a dark fighting. This mon's really good. It's one of the two mons in the tier that gets parting shot, and that can be really nice. It gets drain punch, knockoff, power up punch. Like, it doesn't get mark punch, unfortunately, but we do have mark punch user in Magby. But yeah, this thing's bulky. It hits hard. It gets pivot in parting shot. Like pseudo recovery and drain punch, and that's just a really spammable move. Any darks that want to come in, not darks, any ghosts that want to come in and take this, it's got to deal with a knockoff. So it's just a really fat, like, not really fat, but just a really solid, solid fighting type to add to the team. It's, yeah, really phenomenal. And another mon that I really haven't tried before. So out of these 4 mons, I have not tried a single one before, and that was the theme I was going in with this draft. Like, try and use as many mons that I haven't really used before at all. And then if I have to use one or two that I'm comfortable with to patch it up, then so be it. But yeah, so that's really our second wheel round. Then we have to wait a whole, like, almost 40 picks for it to come back to us. And it came back to us, and I decided to grab Blitzel. Blitzel's another mon. It's fast. It hits that 18 speed tier. So that's something in between Carvanha Snivy and Magby. It's an electric type. It gets Volt Switch. It gets some other cool moves. It's just there as a nice fast pivot. Get me in safely to those breakers that I have, because at the moment I have 4 mons that hit incredibly hard, and I've got 1 pivot. It also gets 2 immunities, which is really nice. It gets Lightning Rod and Sap Sipper. So, electric types, it takes a little bit of pressure off my ground type, which is to come, and it also takes a little bit of pressure off Magby being that defensive check to grass types, because I do have that immunity. That's pretty much all there was to Blitzel. It's a really nice tier 3 mon, I feel. It's I wanted a fast electric, and it was either this or Voltorb, and I felt Blitzel brought more to the table than Voltorb did. Obviously Voltorb hits at 20 speed tier, very fast. But Blitzel offers a bit more versatility, which is something I really like in drafts. So yeah, that was really all it was. So then it went to Arashi, who was the pick after us. He made a couple picks and got back to us, and we grabbed Lilip. And yes, I know I said I was going to try and use mons that I haven't before, but Lilip I needed a rocker. I didn't really want I needed like a water resist that wasn't Snivy. So this gave me a rocker and a water immunity. Also sticky hold for holding on to that Eviolite. I just needed something bulky, and Lilip is really phenomenal at fitting all those roles. It's a mon that I'm super comfortable with. I've used plenty of times before. It's obviously our baby mascot, so yeah, I saw it still sitting there, and I'm like, you know what, this mon is underrated. It is really phenomenal at just eating hits, getting reliable recovery, getting stealth rock, getting dual stab. It gets Like, it gets some really nice moves: sticky hold, storm drain, suction cups if I ever want to run a setup set that so they can't roar or phase me out. But yeah, this mon is really phenomenal, and it's one of my favorite little cup mons. And so when I saw an opportunity to make it fit, I couldn't really say no. So once again, we wait a whole almost 40 picks, and it gets back to us, and I'm like, I don't have a ground type. I sort of know what mons that I really want to fill those last 3 free points, and I couldn't really fit a ground type in there because there um, weren't really many left in tier 3 that I wanted to prioritize. And that's kind of what I'm going for my free points. You get 200, tier 1 use 80, tier 2s use 60, tier 3s use 40, and tier 4s use 20. So I could get one of each tier, or I could get one of each tier that isn't tier 1 after this, or I could get 3 tier 3s, and that's something that I thought I'd try, just because tier 2s didn't really fit the mold at the moment. I couldn't really get all the roles that I wanted in the team by getting another tier 4, so I decided to grab my tier 4 now, probably a bit early, but I wanted to secure this mon, and it was Barboach. Barboach is a decent mon. It's not amazing, it's obviously in tier 4 for a reason, but it is a water ground, so it's only weak to grass. And looking at grass against our team, we got 2 grass types, which one resists it, one is eating hits from it all day. We got a fire type in Magby, and we got a grass immunity in Blitzel. So grass types are not a problem for this team. It also does get Dragon Dance, which is really nice. So Waterfall, Earthquake, 2, as I said, high base power moves at +1 from a Barboach. They can hit pretty hard. And that's kind of what this thing does. And so I felt, you know what, grass isn't a problem for us. We need a ground type. We have a water, but it's Carvana. So it's not the most defensive. Neither is Barboach, but I figure having 2 offensive waters is better than like not having I don't know. It just sort of fit with grass types kind of want to come for my Carvana, but they also don't want to come for the rest of my team. So yeah, I thought this was a nice pick, nice tier 4 that I can see coming to a few games. I don't see it being as influential as something like the Slugma last season was for us. That thing came to a lot of games and was really phenomenal. But yeah, so that's really my reasoning behind this. So moving into my last 3 picks, I knew the mons that I wanted, and I just decided to get them in order that they were most likely to get sniped. So I grab this mon next. It's another mon that I've used before. I think it's the last mon that I've used before on this team, so there's only 2, which I think out of 10 is pretty decent of me, and that's Mime Jr. And this mon is really nice. I wanted a Psychic type. I wanted something else that can take hits. Berry Juice Recycle with its really high special defense is a set that can be run. And then there's the set that can just win against teams with no Dark type. The set that Reuniclus made very popular, the Barrier, Calm Mind, in this case Recycle as opposed to Recover, and Psychic move. So yeah, like if you can just win with this set, you can get up to +6/+6 if there's no status moves. If they do bring something in to try and status you can just kill them, because most of the time like Mime Jr. has a pretty high special attack. And even if you can't just win, you can often break a lot of things, and they struggle to break you. So yeah, it's really nice mon. Really fun mon to use. It's a fairy type, but unfortunately it doesn't get any fairy moves other than Charm. So you're never running a fairy move. But it's also a dragon immunity, and there are some strong dragons. Things like Gibble, Dino. Well, Dino doesn't count. That's not a real Pokemon. I'm just looking through now. Things like Axu, Tyrant, they're probably more like a threatening level. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at here, is a nice fairy, nice psychic, nice potential more like bulky setup mon, which fits the mold of the team pretty nicely. Moving on, we have our second to last pick, and this was my last wheel, so these 2 weren't going to get sniped. I picked this mon first because I thought maybe I picked this one first because I was kind of looking at options for the last one, but I decided to go with Venonat. And this was a mon that I saw at about round 3, and I was like, this mon, I've never seen it drafted, because I kind of wanted a ground of poison that could learn T-Spikes. Because there was a game last season that had like 5 kills to Toxic Spikes or something ridiculous like that, and I'm like, you know what, that'd be nice for my team. I don't want to lose to that, so I'd like a grounded poison. So I decided to pick up Venonat, and looking at this mon early in the draft, I also liked its typing because of its resistance to fighting, which fighting at the moment is kind of a small problem for me. I mean, Lilip and Carvana, two of the mons that I probably want to be bringing a fair bit, are weak to it. I mean, Snivy, Magby with the flame body, it's Mime Junior resists it, so I wanted something a bit bulky. This mon's very bulky. It gets reliable recovery, compound eyes or tinted lens, so you can run like one stab move that might be resisted by a couple of things, but tinted lens makes that do a bit more damage. It also gets T spikes, and it gets a couple other cool moves that I think I'll just wait and see for the rest of the season in case any of the other coaches decide to watch this one, because there are some really cool sets that I have in mind for Venonat here, and it's an adorable little thing. So yeah, that's why I grabbed this at tier 4. I thought, you know what, this adds a little bit more bulk to my team. A team which really doesn't have any at the moment. Its bulk is Lilip and maybe Mime Jr., maybe Snivy, but not really. So yeah, last pick, I was fitting with that theme. There was one typing that I didn't really have. I didn't have a flying. I considered getting a flying, but there really weren't any good ones left. So I figured next best thing, I'll get a ground immunity in Duskull. Duskull's really nice. It very high defense and special defense, decent enough HP to the point where like you take hits very well, but Berry Juice brings you back to full. So that's something that's really nice. It's get Will-O-Wisp, it gets Memento, Levitate or Frisk, two really nice abilities here, because items are super important, and if you can identify those two Eviolite users or identify a Scarfer, that can make running calcs and deciding when to go for game a lot easier. And that's really what I like about Duskull. It can come in, it can pivot in, it can eat a hit here, throw off a Will-O-Wisp, throw off a Shadow Ball or something like that, or a Shadow Sneak, so it's another priority user, which, I mean, I have a little bit of, but not the most priority on this team, which is not concerning, but it's just something I could have worked on a little bit more. But yeah, so that's basically it. So yeah, that's going to be our Little Cup Season 2 team. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. I don't think our team is as strong as season 1, but it looks very fun to use, and I think there are some mons in here that can just win on their own, and that's always fun to have because that forces a lot of prep, and hopefully I can catch a couple of coaches off guard. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of this video. Kept it, well, I mean, 18 minutes is not really short. I tried to keep it a little bit shorter, but I failed at that, so I'm going to make this nice and quick. Battle should start going up next Saturday, Sunday, Monday, somewhere around next, like, weekend-ish sort of thing. I don't know, time zones are weird, and yeah, so you'll see the battle coming up in about a week's time. But as always, until next time, I shall see you all later.